We've got Chris Isike, who is a professor of African politics and development, University of Pretoria, South Africa. He's a member of the Nigerian Union there in South Africa. He's joining us via Skype from Pretoria. Good morning, Mr. Isike, and thank you for joining us today. Could you give us a background, or at least tell us what you understand from what is going on at the moment?
Morning to you and for all Nigerians. Basically, in my view, we can summarize the situation in South Africa as leadership, as a failure of leadership in both countries, both in Nigeria and South Africa, but also our makeup as a people. And there are a lot of factors that cause these attacks, as we see, on TV that has been happening over 2 weeks now. I would like to just say we can reduce them to 5 points, but it could be more. First one being development challenges at home, that drive immigration from Nigeria. That's a problem because there are lots of Nigerians who are in South Africa, for example, who should have no business here in the first place. They're only here because they are here to hustle. That's what they say, simply because things are bad at home. They come here if they don't have any qualifications, for example, there's nothing to do. The system in South Africa is a bit closed. They come here, they find out that it's not as cozy, as productive as it is in, say, Europe and America previously. You will find that they will then take to crime. So that's a problem. And then there is also the problem of poverty and inequality in South Africa, which was inherited from the old apartheid system, which government has not been able to deal with. And then it ties to service delivery challenges in the country, which is also, bedeviled by higher levels of corruption. And then, like our panelist was saying, there are also inciting statements from thought leaders in South Africa. You've talked about the former Minister of Police making those kind of comments. We've talked about the King of the Zulus making inciting comments that led to xenophobia in 2015 against, or if you like, Afrophobia against Africans. We've had other leaders, and including those in the media, who caricature immigrants as the problem and then become, make them vulnerable for attacks. But the last point I want to make is also the conduct of Nigerians ourselves. Not very palatable, very, abrasive sometimes in the eyes of the people. And then, of course, the engagement in criminal activities, like I said before, which then makes it become a Nigerian problem. So, for instance, there are other Africans and other nationalities, Pakistanis, Bulgarians involved in the drug business or the drug trade and trafficking in South Africa. But somehow, Nigeria have become the face of the drug problem in South Africa. And this has more to do with the way that we have conducted people.
Well, Professor Isike, let me ask you, if there are illegal immigrants, the authorities are expected to deal with those kind of matters. We do have illegal immigrants in this country. The immigration here has given that notice they should go ahead and register. People have been deported from this country. People are still going to be deported from this country. Foreigners are making a lot of funds in this country. Nigerians are not taking laws into their hands and killing anybody. So why do you think that the residents, the citizens there, are taking laws into their hands?
Yeah, that's why I talk about government failure and leadership failure in the country. Because, for example, I heard on the news yesterday that Nigerians tried to attack ShopRite in Lagos, and of course were repelled by the police. So Nigerians know for sure that they can't take laws into their hands. If they attack public properties, they will be dealt with severely by the police. That is not happening in South Africa. The people here know for a fact that they will not be prosecuted, like the other panelists were saying. So they act with impunity because they know that there are no consequences. So that's a leadership problem. in South Africa. Like you said, I've heard on radio people saying, oh, Nigerians were expelled from Ghana, and Nigerians have been targeted for crimes in the US and in Saudi Arabia. And I said, yes, that's fine. But none of those countries, we've not heard that Ghanaians massacred and killed Nigerians in the streets. So expel them, catch them if you know that they are guilty of crime, deal with them, prosecute them, and send them back home. But you do not have the right to do it. And I think that's a profound point to make.
Professor Ezekiel, let me ask you this. Apartheid ended in 1994. And if this has to still continue as a result of whatever it is, what then should the Nigerians in that country do? Many people say that some of these things that are happening date back, to the slave trade era. Is there a background that we are not aware of?
Okay, I think it dates back to their apartheid history. Okay, there's a lot of dehumanization that took place. There's a lot of dehistoricization that took place in this country. So many of them, first and foremost, were not even aware that there are other people, Africans, that look like them outside the shores of their country. Okay, so there's a limitation in terms of how much history they know of the continent. There's also the problem of there was no debriefing in 1994 about the role that African countries and peoples played in the liberation struggle in South Africa, and that they have a skill shortage problem, which can be helped by the inflow of skills, coming from the continent. So they were not prepared, for the kind of inflow of people from the continent, which they saw. But again, too, it has to do with the fact that many of them do not understand that there are no jobs reserved for Africans. For example, if you look at their policies, I am a Nigerian. I've been here for over 16 years. I'm a professor in a university. I did not get a job because I'm a Nigerian. I got a job because there was no South African who had my skill set to fill a position at a particular point in time. And the rules, the immigration, the Home Affairs rules about employment clearly favors South Africans, but many people do not know this. They assume that, once you see foreigners in positions, they're taking our jobs. A lot of the jobs that you see, those burnings taking place, those jobs are created by immigrants themselves. So there's a lack of understanding, there's a lack of debriefing by government. But more importantly, because you rightly called it as Afrophobia, right? It's not xenophobia, because there are a lot of immigrants in South Africa, both from Asia, both from Europe and Africa. However, it seems that they are aware there's a deliberate targeting of Africans only, African businesses only, and African migrants only, and it's a function of the psychology of the dehumanization that is suffered during the apartheid period, where they've been socialized into hating themselves and hating anything that remotely look like them. So it's easy to blame and hate the other that looks like them because they struggle to be different.
Button now, if I may button now, apologies. Now, I'd like you to bring us up to speed as to the current state of things as we speak. Has there been any improvement? I mean, with the statement that was given by the president, and other people in South Africa, has there been any form of improvement in the state of things at this moment?
Yes, by this morning, we've seen calm. There's been calm since yesterday mid-afternoon to this morning. There's not been any, I've not heard of any flare-ups. So there's been calm. The president has spoken. The head of the security cluster in the South African government has also spoken and said that there was a failure of intelligence as a result of infighting within the intelligence sector, because a lot of this information were put out there before these things even happened. So those kind of statements, and even by the premier of Gauteng, the governor of the area where these things have happened a lot, has also come out to condemn it. So this kinds of public condemnation by leaders has helped to calm things down a bit, and I think that the police are out there in fuller force than they've been in the past, trying to combat it. So I can say that there's some calm.
All right, Professor Chris Ezike, who is a professor of African Politics and Development, University of Pretoria. Thank you for joining us today on the program.
Thank you very much.